Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi Benson if you haven't been here before, and today we're going to go over the top 6 tips to help prevent excessive weight gain during pregnancy. Now, I'm a registered dietitian and I get to work every day with pregnant women who may battle with not getting enough weight or oftentimes gaining a little too much weight or weight a little too quickly. And so today we're going to talk about things that I've found to help in my personal practice as well that have been clinically proven to help reduce or maybe slow down some of that weight gain. My tip number 1 is to have a healthy mindset. The government recently reported that 48% of pregnant women are gaining over the recommendations or gaining excessive amounts of weight during pregnancy. I wondered if this is because we're really bad at educating pregnant moms and they're not even aware of the recommendations or kind of what their weight gain should be like, or if it's because we have this mentality that when you're pregnant you should be eating for 2. It's your time to just kind of go out and eat excessively because you're pregnant. In your past pregnancies, if you gained excessive amounts of weight or you're already gaining a high amount of weight with your current pregnancy, know that you're not the only one struggling with this, and adjusting your mindset can be the first step to help. I want to make sure that everybody knows, especially those who had previous eating disorders or are more weight sensitive, that the weight that you gain during pregnancy is not all just fat, like maternal fat stores. You develop a baby, which ends up being around 7 or 8 pounds of that weight gain. You also develop a placenta, amniotic fluid, your blood volume increases to circulate through your whole body, as well as you develop more breast tissue, your uterus has to grow larger, and then you also do build some fat, protein, nutrient stores. And so with that, a normal BMI, you're going to gain around 7 pounds towards those maternal fat stores. So if your weight gain during pregnancy becomes excessively over the recommendations, that 7 pound might increase. It also explains that if you have those higher fat stores, if you're in a higher BMI range, why you don't need to gain as much weight. So there is some differences in the weight gain with different BMI ranges. But know that for most every pregnancy, you should be gaining weight. It's healthy and it's a part of pregnancy to gain weight. So let me just pause and review the Institute of Medicine's recommendations, or the IOM recommendations if you see that. Notice that the right side of the graph is for moms with twins. Your weight gain recommendations will be higher. For moms having one baby, you'll be looking at the left side. Start by calculating your BMI on Google by Googling BMI calculator and entering your pre-pregnancy weight and height. Then, using that number, find the range you are in, and then the number to the right of your range will tell you the total weight you should gain by the end of your pregnancy. For example, if you calculated a BMI of 22, you will be in the normal weight range, and you will need to gain around 25 to 35 pounds throughout your pregnancy. If your BMI was 32, you will be in the obese range, and you should gain closer to 11 to 20 pounds throughout your pregnancy. Stick around till the end and I'll show you how to better track your weight gain throughout your pregnancy. I want you guys to remember that recommendations are recommendations. They are written for the entire population and not as catered to the individual. Try not to worry if you're slightly above or below these weights. I don't want to be so focused on numbers because I really think that focusing more on your physical activity and what you're eating during pregnancy can help you to be healthier and naturally avoid those large weight gains during pregnancy. I also wanted to make it clear that you should not be losing weight during pregnancy or going on a diet while you're pregnant. Even if you've already gained a lot of weight early on, the goal is not to lose that weight, but is to stabilize your weight gain for the rest of your pregnancy. Another disclaimer is that some women gain a lot of weight because they're retaining a lot of water, which may be because of some medical reasons, so always check in with your doctor also with your weight gain. My tip number 2 is to stay physically active. I've talked about this a lot in my previous videos because it's so important. I know it isn't always the easiest with the symptoms you experience during pregnancy, but it makes a big difference. And it may help you to have a shorter labor and easier delivery. So some more ideas on what I've already talked about in the past is walking to your neighbor's house versus taking your car. YouTube is full of pregnancy workout videos. Some doctors recommend getting 10,000 steps in each day. I also talked about my pre-pregnancy video, ways to check your daily steps. Any way to include your kids, walk with them to the park, go swimming with them. If it's wintertime, have a dance party inside with them or walk up and down the stairs. Doing whatever you can to try to get your heart beat up a little bit and and be moving. It's also smart to check in with your doctor and get their advice before you start some new workout routine. Avoid exercises on your back after the first trimester, and avoid anything that gives you headaches or bleeding or any faint-heartedness, and talk to your doctor right away. My tip number 3 is control your portion sizes. So part of this is eating smaller meals more frequently. I would say space them out by at least 2 hours though, so you're not grazing too much throughout the day, but you are getting a solid little meal, especially the further along you get. This can be helpful. The other part of this is eating things on a smaller plate, drinking things from a smaller cup. For me, I like to eat a little bit of ice cream in a bowl that's about this big, and for some reason, most of the time, I feel satisfied once I finish the bowl and I don't need another. Also, remember that you aren't really eating for 2 people. In the first trimester, you don't need any extra calories, just try to eat similar to how you did before you were pregnant. And in the second and third trimesters, eat an additional 300 to 500 calories per day. So an extra snack or a meal added to your normal diet is all you need. Tip number 4, eat a variety of foods, mostly homemade. I've talked a lot about this with my other videos, just trying to eat a variety of food from all the food groups, eating your vegetables and fruit every day, as well as trying to get whole grains, reduced fat dairies, and then with your protein food group, trying to eat more lean meats, more poultry, fish, nuts, seeds, just eating a variety of foods, and especially trying to eat them homemade. This makes a huge difference versus eating out, especially when you're trying to avoid excessive weight gain. Because when you eat out, there tends to be more calories, more sugar, more fat in your meals. Eating at home makes it much easier to control those things. To give you some ideas, I think a great thing right now that's trending is to use vegetables in place of a grain. So like there's zucchini noodles or zoodles. They're really awesome to make and use instead of pasta. And they have cauliflower rice that you can use in the place of rice. And I really feel like that one, you can't tell a huge difference. But it's a way more nutritious meal, way less calories that's going to be bumping up your weight, and so those are awesome ideas. Something else like buying or making your own veggie tray, just buying a bunch of fresh vegetables like cherry tomatoes, carrots, bell peppers that are cut up, broccoli, and just dipping them into a ranch. Honestly, the ranch helps you absorb more nutrients in the veggies, and it just helps you eat a ton of veggies, so do that. Something else that's really good is an omelet. You can stack an omelet with like a bunch of spinach, a bunch of peppers as well, purple onions, awesome things like that. Get a lot of protein as well as vegetables. Cooking with less grease or less fat is helpful. Buying fruit and separating it so you can easily snack on it is a great idea too. The more fruits and vegetables you eat, the more nutrients you're going to get, and they are a lot lower in calories than probably a lot of things you snack on. Drink more water instead of drinking sugary drinks, but don't expect yourself to be perfect. You're gonna have cravings, you're gonna want to eat salty things or really sweet things, and so we'll talk about that next. Tip number 5, curb your cravings. A good idea that a lot of people recommend is eating a bowl of fruit instead of dessert. And while I think this is a good idea, I also think that you need to indulge every once in a while to get that craving out of your system. And so allow yourself once a week to eat a good dessert. To go out to your fast food restaurant that you've been craving all week. To eat some potato chips. But remember, portion sizes are a good thing to keep track of. Something else that I personally do is if I'm really craving something sweet, instead of, waiting till 8 p.m. to indulge in that, in my dinner meal, instead of if I'm eating like lasagna or in a roll, I just will skip out on the roll. Or if I'm eating even like chicken, veggies, and rice, I might skip out on the rice and just eat a dessert. And so it's kind of taking the place of the carb that I'm already normally eating, but it allows me to indulge, and I will better digest those kind of empty calories because I'm also eating more nutritious food in the same meal. Something that helps though, if you feel like you're indulging every day, don't buy those foods. Don't stock your house with foods that are a constant temptation. Make the whole family go on a healthier diet with you. And when you do indulge, control your portion sizes, like I said. Eat a bowl of ice cream in a small bowl. If you eat potato chips, don't eat them out of the bag. Put them in a bowl. Make sure you're kind of controlling and watching what you're eating. Eat slowly, really enjoy what you're eating, and make it a once a week thing or once a month thing. So my last and final tip is to monitor your weight gain. This tip is optional. If you're able to eat really healthy and be really active, I wouldn't worry a ton about your weight gain, but it is something that can help you check in, see how you're doing, especially if meeting with your doctor and hearing from them, you know you're already struggling with it. This can help you take control over your pregnancy. If you know you have an emotionally charged relationship with your weight and getting on a scale, this also might be a good thing to skip. I recommend checking your weight maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. Do remember that there can be large fluctuations in one day of what your weight is. So try to check your weight, if you're doing it once a week, the same day of the week, the same time of day, and wearing the same amount of clothing or no clothing, using the same scale. I really recommend not checking your weight every day because this can drive you crazy. I found 2 websites. One's more like a local one for me, I guess it's from Utah's health department, and another website is just the CDC. It's more for the United States. They will calculate your BMI, and I'm talking your pre-pregnancy BMI, so make sure it's not your BMI today, but your BMI, which you'll need to know your weight before you're pregnant, and your height, so doing your best to guess what that was, or if you know it, putting it in accurately. And then it'll tell you your BMI, and then give you a BMI appropriate weight gain chart where you can plot. I'm like 25 weeks in, and then I've gained this much weight, and you can plot it on the chart and it'll let you know. It shows you the range, if you're in range, or if you're a little bit below the range, or a little bit above the range, or if you're really above the range, it'll help you kind of figure out where you're at. And then week by week or every 2 weeks, you can keep like recording the dot and see how you're trending. Know that it will fluctuate a little bit, but overall you'll see a trend and know how you're doing. I'll add these website links into the description below. Let me know if a longer, more detailed video on how to use the websites and track your weight week by week would be helpful. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these tips helped you. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, or if you have anything to add that personally helped you kind of stabilize your weight gain. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.